Welcome back to Temple of Elemental Evil. This is the final episode. It's going to end here. And, of course, Talon up first. She is right here adjacent to the Troglodyte. And because she's adjacent to the Troglodyte, we have the special ability, and it says, a hero that begins his or her hero phase adjacent to the Troglodyte gains disadvantage. So she is going to start off her hero phase right now with a disadvantage token. Next time you make an attack, roll the dice twice and use the lower result, then discard this token. Alright, well, she does get to move and attack, or move. And so she is going to move first, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And she is now 2 tiles away from the Troglodyte, and then she is going to attack. So she's going to use her longbow, which is +8. Attack 1 monster within 2 tiles of your hero. Alright, so let's get out the dice tray and do that attack. Alright, so she has to roll the dice 2 times and take the lower result because of disadvantage. First roll is an 8, and her second roll is a 13. So she has to use an 8. However, an 8 plus 8 for the longbow is 16. That is more than enough to take out the Troglodyte. And he only has 1 hit point. Troglodyte is annihilated. Alright, and yes, reason we wanted to take out the Troglodyte is so we get a treasure card. And it's a pouch of copper. Again, there's lots of these in the deck. 100 gold pieces for Talon. So she's going to get a 100 gold piece token. She's going to add that to her total. Alright, back to the board. Alright, so Talon's parting shot takes the Troglodyte out, which got her that treasure card of 100 gold pieces. And now both heroes are at the exit. And it's the end of Talon's hero phase. And so we basically have met the victory condition for Adventure 1. And it says the heroes win the adventure when they escape the dungeon. At the end of the player's hero phase, if all heroes are at the start tile, they escape. So they are both at the start tile. So our heroes escape. Talon and Alaros make it out alive. Pretty tight. Talon had 1 hit point left, got very lucky on some rolls. And Alaros not doing too much better. He has 2 hit points left. However, I'm going to do a little bit of a wrap-up here, having to do with this game, and in particular the campaign. And so it says there's an aftermath section of Adventure 1, and there's an aftermath section at the end of every adventure except the very last one, of course, because it's the conclusion to the campaign. And it has to do, we actually managed to finish this adventure with both healing surges. So the aftermath here, I don't want to really spoil it, but it basically has different scenarios. So it says, if your heroes complete the scenario with 2 healing surges, make the following changes. And this is where the campaign part of it comes in. So you're going to start adding cards into the base 145 cards. And if we complete it with 2 healing surges, we're going to add Elemental Blessing, the encounter card, to the encounter deck. And we add a chest of gold treasure card to the treasure card deck. And it says, if the heroes complete the scenario with fewer than 2 healing surges, instead make the following changes. So that we would be adding a Hidden Traps encounter card to the encounter deck. We would add a bag of silver treasure card to the treasure deck. And each hero would gain 100 gold pieces. So that gives you the scenarios at the end of the adventure as to how to tailor the different decks for the continuing campaign. Alright, that's it. So we won. Let me just readjust the camera. We'll take a look at the heroes and the treasure they have taken out of the tomb, or out of the dungeon with them as they've escaped. And I'll just kind of conclude off there by talking a little bit about how the leveling up works. Okay, so in conclusion, at the back of the rule book, the last 2 pages, it has something called Playing the Campaign. There's a campaign tracking page, and I won't show you all that. It's all online. I think it's up at Board Game Geek if you wanted to look at these things. Basically, playing the campaign, when you're finished an adventure, of course, you're going to go from this one is Adventure 1. Our next adventure would be Adventure 2. So what do we do in between to level up and stuff? We have town actions. And town actions mean we can swap powers. So we go to town and we can change these cards. There are other cards for, there are more and other cards for characters. So we don't always have to keep the same ones we used between adventures. We can swap them in and out for different cards if we want. In between, we can sell items. So in this scenario, or in this adventure one, we had Alaros had the Claws of Umber Hulk, Robes of Eyes, and of course they were worth 300 gold each. And so is the Ring of the Ram. We can sell these items for 300 gold. So if we sold all three of them, it'd be 900 gold. We also have, Talon has 100 gold, that would be 1,000, and Alaros has 200. We have a total of 1,200 gold. And we can also trade cards, trade treasure cards and gold pieces. So if Talon wanted to give Alaros 100 gold and give him the ring, we can do that, or she can get traded back here. So we can trade items, gold and items. And the other thing we can do is level up. And I'll just read that quickly. It says your hero may spend 1,000 gold pieces to level up to level 2. So if we sold everything, we had 1,200, we can level up Talon to 2nd level. If we want to, cost 1,000 gold pieces. The other thing we can do, once a character has reached 2nd level, you can buy advancement tokens. And it says you can only choose this option after your hero has leveled up to 2nd level. Your hero can spend gold pieces to buy advancement tokens. Each advancement token has a unique cost, it's explained. So they basically get more expensive as you buy them. And the 4 advancement tokens you can get are reroll. This token can be used to reroll any die during your hero phase. +1 damage. This token can be used to deal +1 damage and regain 2 hit points is another token, and recharge is another token. So just to show you one of them, they are these nice thick cardboard tokens. So if we had 500 gold pieces, I think that's the first one in the line for +1 damage. You basically take that into the dungeon with you on your next adventure, and then at any one point when you want to use +1 damage, you throw it on the floor. No, you actually flip it over, and on the back of it, of course, it says +1 damage used. So that has now been used. And if someone wants to buy another +1 damage, it starts going up in cost. So the next one's going to cost you 600 gold. So if Talon wants to buy one, she spends 600 gold. Again, when you're in the dungeon, you use it. And that's basically, in a nutshell, how the advancement system works and how you start going through the campaign, leveling up as you go. And I really like the system. I think it's a pretty big improvement over the other 3 games before it. It's neat to get these upgrades. And yes, one character can buy multiple of the same. Of course, every time you use it, it's +1. I'm assuming if you wanted to, if Alaros had bought both of these upgrades and was level 2, because you can't buy them otherwise, during one battle he could probably flip both of them over at the same time and add 2 damage to any one attack. So if he used Claws of the Umber Hulk, 3 damage, and used both of them, that's 5 damage with 1 hit. So pretty awesome stuff. And of course the scenarios get tougher and tougher as you go along. And the cards 146 through 200, which you hadn't used in the very first scenario, start getting added into the game as you progress in the campaign as well. So which upgrades the cultists to, I like elite cultists from just regular cultists, so they get stronger and have better to hit abilities and things. And that's, I guess, and yes, I'm leaving a bunch of stuff out, but that's in a nutshell how it works. Hope you enjoyed the playthrough. It's quite a fun game. Like I said, I do like it better than the other ones. There's nothing wrong with the other games, but I like this system better. And it's kind of interesting to have multiple monster tiles. That really ramps up the pressure. We flipped the one over and we had 3 monsters at one time. Wow, that is brutal. And there are some tiles that have no monsters and a ton of traps, which is another interesting way. You can just run over the trap and hope you don't get damaged, or you can spend an action to try and disarm the trap. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking my videos if you do. And of course, yes, very soon, another playthrough series, board or card game, will be coming up on my channel. If you want to check out my other playthroughs, I have 30 something now. Just go check out my playlist and you'll see which games I have done. All right, again, thanks so much for watching and subscribing. Join me next time for another playthrough series.